Hello, welcome to my channel. And if this is your first time here, I'll please like you to go and click the subscribe button for me. Okay, let's go straight into what we have today. You can remember, if you have been watching my videos, there was a video I did on residential measurement standards. You know, the measurement standard used by the Real Estate Council of Alberta when measuring properties that were listed in the MLS. So there is one major objective for using the residential measurement standard, and that goal is to enhance consistency and accuracy in the measurement of properties across board. So let's look at the changes that will take effect January 1st, 2024, according to the Real Estate Council of Alberta. Going forward, all semi-detached properties, single units in a row or townhouses, they will all now be measured using the exterior wall at the foundation level. And you will ask, what if I can't determine the thickness of the wall, especially when you're measuring upstairs, when you're measuring the units, that are above the foundation level? How do you determine the thickness of the wall? The answer is pretty simple. You use the width of the door frame to assume the thickness of the wall. Having said that, all the apartment style properties will still be measured paint to paint, wall to wall, finished wall to finished wall. That's what we call paint to paint. So they are going to be measured paint to paint. We'll continue with that kind of measurement. But for semi-detached single units in a row, which hitherto have been classified as attached properties, they are now going to be measured as detached properties, which means they're going to be measured using the exterior wall at the foundation level. Now, obviously, using the new measurement standard, you will determine that the size of the property is going to be more, as compared to how we used to measure these properties before. To this effect, this information is also beneficial to sellers. So if you're a seller, you can request that your representative, your real estate agent, remeasure the property to reflect the new standard going from January 1st, 2024. So even if your property has been listed before now, we have to remeasure, the property and list it with the correct measurement. Okay, so the final thing I want to discuss today that the Real Estate Council of Alberta is making changes about is the introduction of a new measurement, the BGMS, the below grade measurement standard. Now, effective January 2024, the BGMS will come into effect. Before now, we don't put the below grade measurement in the MLS. And RECA is saying that we now have to include below grade measurement standard. And below grade measurement standard applies 4 principles. Now, the first principle is that BGMS applies only to floor levels below grade. When we talk about below grade, we're talking about the surface of the soil outside. When you go outside where you match, that is what we call grade. Grade is where you assume to be the level ground, if I should call it that. Okay, so all the floor levels below grade will be measured using the BGMS principle. The second principle is that BGMS measurements must be taken using the exterior wall at the foundation level, just like what we discussed before. If you don't know the thickness of the foundation, what you do is you extrapolate using the width of the door frame. That is what we use. If you can't determine the thickness of the wall, you use the width of the door frame as the thickness of the wall. But you have to include the thickness of the wall. That's what this is just talking about. When you say it's going to be measured using the exterior wall at the foundation level, all you're saying is that you're going to include the thickness of the wall when you're taking the measurement for that floor area. Third principle is that all areas to be included in the measurement must be at least 1.52 meters or 60 inches. 60 inches is the same thing as saying 5 feet. So the minimum height that a floor area will be for you to add it to the measurement will be 5 feet or 60 inches or 1.52 meters. The final principle is that all measurements must be shown in a diagram. The excluded area has to be identified. So for you to include BGMS measurement in the MLS listing, you have to put it in a diagrammatic form. you have to show all the measurements in a diagram, and you have to identify the areas that you excluded. You know, the basement, there are some areas that are excluded. Mind you, we said the minimum height has to be 60 inches, 5 feet, or 1.52 meters. So if there are areas that are not up to this height, you have to include them in the diagram as excluded areas. You have to also include these diagrams and these measurements in the MLS listing as part of the listing file. So when we are listing a property right now in the MLS that includes the BGMS, you have to include the diagrams and the measurements of the BGMS with the listing file. That's it for today. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to give me a call. Or if you're looking to buy or sell a property in Calgary, I will be of help if you can discuss it with me. Thank you for watching. And till next time, it's me, Chinedi Moboruki. And please remember, if you haven't subscribed, please click the subscribe button now, like the video, and share with your friends. Till the next one, God bless you.